Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for the webinar today. We also will be streaming live on our YouTube channel. So I'm just quickly just streaming there as well. Let me go back to my screen. Yes, awesome. I see a lot of folks are joining. I see the number increasing. So I'm just welcoming you. So welcome everyone. And yeah, let me also enable the chat. Yeah, the chat is open for you now. So I'm Risha Khan and I'm your host for today's webinar. And I'm joining all the way from Bangalore, India. I'm just putting down my introduction on the chat here as well. You can also introduce yourselves on the chat there. Let us know your name and where are you tuning in from. As this is a global webinar, you'll be seeing a lot of folks, joining from different parts of the world. So it makes the session even more interesting, right? So yeah, awesome. And also folks who have joined us live on a YouTube channel, you can also let us know by introducing yourselves on the chat there. Now, I'll just quickly introduce you to our free program preview today. And we'll be covering the full stack developer MERN Stack master's program from Simplilearn. But before that, we'll be talking about how to become a Pro MERN Stack developer in 2024, talking about the career opportunities, what exactly is this field in detail here. So yeah, moving on to the next slide. So this program is powered by Simplilearn, world's #1 online bootcamp. We have been in the digital skills training space for more than a decade now, and we are very proud that we have transformed lives by empowering people via these digital skills. And today the skill we'll be talking about is the full stack development MERN Stack program. And a few quick ground rules for you in case you have any questions. So you can put down your questions in the Q&A box. Q&A box is just beside the chat box where we can see your amazing introductions coming in. And also the session is being recorded in case you want to go through the recording of the session once again. In case you missed anything, please don't worry. You can expect a follow-up email from us. And you should receive that within 24 to 48 hours over your mail. And also for attending this webinar, there is a webinar certificate. For that, you will have to stay till the end. So this session is 60 minutes long and you have to stay till the end. And once basically to receive your proof of attendance, we will require your full name to personalize the certificate and send it to you after the webinar. So yeah, I'll nudge about these rules on the chart as well because I see the number was growing as I was speaking. A lot of new folks are joining in. And this is the certificate of participation for attending the webinar. You can see this is how it looks like. And you can see the name here. Your name will be here. This is what we need towards the end. And also the topic of today's session will be here, how to become a Pro MERN Stack developer. And it will be basically accredited by Simplilearn. And now what exactly is the use of the certificate? So we are attending such an amazing, interesting webinar. You're staying up to date what's going on in the full stack development world. So you can share it with your network. You can tag us on LinkedIn as well, the Simplilearn handle, and also our expert Shalini Mittal. So I'll share those details in the chat as well. So folks are already doing that. Folks are even sharing screenshots and their insights about the session with their network, and they're getting a lot of support there. And how you can do that? You can use the handle. You can use the hashtag #SimplyGrow. And I'll share the hashtag link on the chat and shortly. You can go and check out. We already have a lot of followers there. You can go and support others as well who are posting and connect with new folks. As this is a global webinar, you'll be seeing a lot of folks, posting it from around the world. So now quickly moving to the agenda of today's session. First and the most important agenda of today's session is about you, how we can help you out in your full stack MERN Stack, career better. In case you have any questions about that, you can let us know in the Q&A box. And the second agenda of today's session is the topic, how to become a Pro MERN Stack developer in 2024. And after that, we'll be covering the full stack MERN Stack master's program by Simplilearn, what exactly this program offers, what exactly the learning path of the program looks like, and also the skills covered, the tools covered in the program, and there are Capstone projects also covered in the program which help you showcase that practical experience. And based on the interest you share towards enrollment into the program, we will be taking the enrollment steps quickly, where we'll be sharing the program fee and the upcoming cohort you can join. I'll also share the scan code for the program in case you want to go and check out the program and download the syllabus. And last but not the least, the Q&A part. The Q&A has been kept towards the end because throughout the session, we get a lot of questions, and it will be easier for our expert to answer your questions towards the end altogether. But in case time allows, for the speaker, we can address it during the session as well. But again, please have some patience, put on your questions, and we'll make sure to address all of them. As I mentioned that, we'll be getting to know a little bit about you. So let's start with a quick poll here. So let's start with the poll which says, how many years of experience do you currently have? I'm just launching this poll, and you can select the option which is the most suitable for you in terms of work experience, a general work experience, not a full stack one. So yeah. Why this? Because, as you can see, there are so many introductions here. I'm just browsing through them. I think I lost a count of it after a few, because so many people joined at the same time, and they're giving introductions. So I see Mirko has joined us from Namibia. I see Utpal has joined us from Philadelphia, and Amina from Tamil Nadu, India. Moses has joined us from Bidar, Karnataka. And is the screen black? No, the screen is visible. We are streaming live as well. Please let me know. Let's do a sound check as well quickly for folks who have already voted for the poll. Is my voice audible and clear to you? And also if the screen is visible to you. Just reply by saying yes or no. And even during the webinar as well, if you face any issues, I'm there with you on the chat. I'll help you out. So please feel free to point out. Awesome. I see most of you have responded for the poll here. And let me just quickly stop the poll. Thank you so much. And also share the responses with you folks. I see 45% of you have voted for currently studying, and 32% of you have voted for 0 to 3 years, and 13% of you have voted for 3 to 5 years, and 9% of you have voted for more than 5 years. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. That definitely gives us an understanding of what kind of crowd with an experience has joined us. So for our speaker, thank you so much. And also thank you so much for letting us know that I might not be visible to you because there's a little bit of electricity problem at my end. I think that should be sorted. But for now, let's start with our speaker introduction. Would like to welcome Shalini Mittal, who is the expert speaker for today's webinar. And also quickly would like to introduce Shalini here. So Shalini is a full stack development expert, instructor, content creator, YouTuber, and speaker and mentor. And at Oracle, and she's an Oracle certified Java professional with 14 plus years of training and development experience in IT industry, providing professional enhancement to individuals and corporates. And she has delivered on various technology stack to various Fortune 500 companies. And also she's a compassionate professional who strives to provide the best learning experience by dynamically adapting to strategies and providing related examples to make participants enjoy the learning path. And I can vouch for that. So, we have done, a lot of sessions with Shalini, and, these sessions are, to look forward for. So, would like to welcome Shalini once again. Shalini, a very good evening to you.
Sorry, excuse me, I'm not well a bit. A very good evening to all of you. I can see the participants from all across the world, Canada, India, Nigeria, Pakistan. I don't know. I mean, there was so much of list. So nice to see the enthusiasm of everyone. And a good evening, Amina, and good evening, everyone as well. So good evening, good morning, good afternoon, based on your locations. Thank you so much, Rasha, for introducing me. I guess that's enough. And we can quickly move on to next slide. And if you have any questions, I guess I shall just reshare the screen now, because many people are getting screen black. Maybe
Sure,
just
I'll do
stop
that.
and reshare, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, if you have any questions, please feel free to put in the chat window. Rasha will be there to monitor, and I'm also looking at the chat. Anywhere I feel like I can answer, I'll definitely answer the questions. So we'll try to cater to all of the questions that come in the chat. So we will try at our level best. Right. Now the thing is that the session needs to be interactive. If only I talk and you listen, I guess it would be boring and I'm going to sleep in that case, even if I talk. So I'm going to share my screen. No issues. If the screen is black, I'll share my screen and let me know if that is visible. Maybe Rasha has some electricity issue. That's the reason it might be
Shalini, yeah.
not a
Shalini, we can do that. Once it's back,
yeah.
I'll share that. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Okay. So is everyone able to see my screen? Can you see the whiteboard? Okay, this is clear, right? Now you all have enrolled for a webinar which says MERN Stack. Okay. Now, what is MERN Stack? What is each and every abbreviation that's used over here? What is the purpose of it? And why do we call it as a stack? And why do we say a particular developer who knows all these 4 technologies is called as a full stack developer? So let's try to understand with an example. Now, say for example, you enroll for the course at Simplilearn. Okay. Now, when you enroll, you definitely go on to a registration website. Now, when you go to a registration website, you fill in your information, right? You fill in your name, your email ID, your phone number, maybe password, blah, 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 all the other information that Simplilearn wants. And then you click on the register button. Now, if the registration was successful, the next slide is what? Next, what you do after you register? So you register, you get a message, please confirm via email maybe. And after that, what you do? Yes. So after registration, yeah, you click and confirm. And after you confirm, perfect, right? You basically log in. That's awesome, Naji. So after you register, you click on the login link because you already registered with your credentials. So say for example, you registered with the email and the password. Now, when you log in again, you enter your email, you enter your password. Now, you log in today or you log in after 6 months or you log in after a year. Do you have to re-register or you directly log in? You register once, am I correct? And then directly log in. But how does the website know that, for example, the email was shalini@gmail.com and password was 1234? When I enter the credentials over here, perfect, right? The data is stored somewhere permanently, and that permanently is called as a database. Okay, so you register once and next time you just log in. Now, whether you are entering correct credentials or not, that data is stored in the database. Now, when I create a website, is anyone here aware about what languages you use to create a website? Anyone know? Perfect. JavaScript. Right. So we use HTML that basically displays the content. We use CSS. So basically we say CSS is nothing but the makeup of the HTML page. Without makeup anyways, I mean, it doesn't make sense. The website is plain, old, black and white, right? You need colors, you need animations, you need transitions, you need proper layouts. And that is where CSS comes in picture, which allows you to make your website presentable. And then you have the JavaScript. Now, why do you need JavaScript is you can display a HTML form for this perfect Falk Mirko. I hope that's I pronounced it right. HTML displayed the form with all the text boxes and the button. CSS decorated the form, right? with the colors, the transitions and everything. But say, for example, email ID. Now, email ID should be some email at, say, gmail.com. So I need to be able to validate that the email ID entered by the user follows the conventions. Password entered by the user should have, say, uppercase, lowercase characters, numbers, and at least one symbol, and so on and so forth. You want to provide all those validations. If, for example, there is a field for phone number and the phone number is mandatory, then that phone number field cannot be empty. You want to do all these validations. You cannot do it via plain HTML and CSS. And that is exactly where you require JavaScript, which basically allows you to provide validations on the form, get the data from the fields, and JavaScript. So basically this data needs to store in database, but there is a restriction that JavaScript cannot directly communicate with the database for security reasons. Okay, for security reasons, JavaScript running on the web page cannot directly communicate with the database. Then how do we send the data? JavaScript bundled up all the form data, your email ID, username, password, blah, blah, all the other stuff. Now, this bundled data needs to be stored in database. What happens is, when you click on the register button, there is a request which is sent. Perfect, right? No, we don't send request to our database. We send request to someone who is sitting in between. The request goes along with the data. This particular, yes, the request is over HTTP. This request along with the data goes to this middle layer. So this is the front end from where the user starts interacting with the backend, with the website. This is the backend where you have your business logic, right? So what is that? The request comes in along with the data. This particular backend application takes the data, processes the data, communicates with the database, stores data in the database, and once the insertion is successful, your database sends a response as a success. And once your backend gets a response as a success, then this response is sent back to the website saying that your registration was successful. Please go to your email ID for confirming, blah, blah. And then when you go to your login page, in that case, again, when you click on the login button, this request goes to your middle layer, which is the backend. This backend communicates with the database, checks whether the credentials entered by the user are the same as entered before. If yes, it returns a success or it returns a failure. Is this flow clear? Actually, what happens? Right? So basically, for us, we go to a website, we register, we get the response, and that's it. But actually, behind the scene, all these layers are playing in the background, and we are not even aware about it. It's as good as you go to a medical store as a customer. Medical store has an interface that's a counter. You make a request, you want some medicines. In the background, there are salesperson who go to the database or wherever their store is. They fetch the medicine, and if the medicine is available, they come back to the customer and give that medicine, right? You as a customer don't directly go inside the store and pick up the medicine. We don't do that. Exactly the same way happens on the web pages as well. Any questions over here? What we call to backend? I didn't get your question really. Okay. If you could elaborate more, Ruhi. Now, we understood that creating a web page is by using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. These are plain languages. So in JavaScript, if you want to create a website, it will take thousands of lines of code. There is, no, Rui, it's not an interpreter. So basically, when you visit a website, you go to a browser, am I correct? You open a Google Chrome, which is a browser. That Google Chrome sends a HTTP request. Okay, so browser understands how to send the data to the server. So this is on the server side. So this basically what we have created is a client server architecture, where client is the web page. Server is where you have the business logic. That means at the medical store, the salesperson inside, and then they go to the storehouse, that is your database. Saiteja, assembling of all these things happens via something called, I cannot go into detail, but I can just tell you that assembling of all these things happens and bundled up in something called as a JSON. So we bundle up in something called as a JSON, and this JSON is sent to the backend for processing the data. Okay, there will be many terms which you will be listening it for the first time, and it might be overwhelming and scary as well, and it is indeed. It was for me when I started my journey in the MERN stack. But believe me, once you start coding and once you start learning and once things fall in place, it takes time. So you cannot be in a rush to learn everything on the first day. You cannot be harsh on yourself. You will have to give time to yourself as well. Okay. What type of business logic, or do you mean frameworks or API? Now, business logic can be anything. It can be validations, compressions, encryptions, decryptions, communicating with database, making a REST API call. It can be anything. Okay. Now, out of this MERN, let's see first R. So what is R? Is a React. So React is nothing but a library. It is a JavaScript library. So, just if I say, okay, how many agree washing clothes via washing machine is faster than by doing it on your own? It's convenient. Maybe it's not faster, but convenient. Yes, JSON. That's correct, Ritwan. What does mean JSON? It's a depends on a lot. Okay, you have lot of height. Right, exactly, right? It depends on a lot. So if you have lot of clothes, washing it by hands will be tedious and it will pain. In that case, you basically use washing machine. Same way, if you are creating a very small website, you don't need to learn React. But if you're creating a commerce, like e-commerce website, social media website, registrations website, railway reservations, airline reservations, Aadhaar card registrations, voting, whatever it is, right? Amazon, perfect. Amazon website. These are complex websites. You need something which can ease your development, and that is exactly where we have React. No, library and framework are not the same. They are different. Okay, JSON is, okay, the way I am talking in English, right? So English is the language of communication between you and me. Likewise, JSON is a language of communication to send data from the front end to back end and to and fro. Makes sense? In a short thing, that's something which I can actually tell you, that it's a language of communication between the front end and the back end. That is JSON. So React in the MERN is used at a front end, right? So this is something which you will be learning to create your website, to quickly develop your websites and apply any validations or whatever you want to do. Next is on the server side. So that is the R. Then you have the N and E. On the server side, to create the server side application, you use a language called as Node.js plus E is Express.js. Okay, so Express.js is a framework. Node.js is a library. Yes, perfect, Radwan. JSON is a kind of communication from the client side and the backend side. So how do you send the data? When you're sending the data, the other side needs to understand how that data is represented, right? So the communication that is used is JSON, perfectly put. So here comes in your Node.js and your Express.js at the backend. When you want to learn React, you will have to basically learn HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Only then you will be able to learn React in a much better way. Otherwise, if you directly start with React, you will not understand a thing. Okay. So HTML, CSS, JavaScript, React on the front end. Node.js and Express.js on the backend, and the database that you are going to learn, that M represents MongoDB, and a developer who knows all these MongoDB, Express.js, React, and Node.js is basically called as a full stack developer, or the MERN stack. So different layers, different technologies, different frameworks, they combine together and provide you with a complete application. So it's as good as when you go to, when you go to a street side vendor for, say, eating sandwiches, right? Street side vendor, there will be one person who is preparing sandwiches. He is responsible for taking the money. So that person is the cook, that person is the financer, that person is the CEO, that person is everything. But the moment you go to a restaurant has layers. So you go, you communicate with the manager looking for space. Once you get the space, you go inside, there is a waiter. Waiter takes your order, goes inside, gives it to the chef. Chef prepares your order. It also communicates with other layers, other junior chefs or senior chefs. And maybe for purchasing items, there will be some people, helping hands, who are going to purchase the items from the market and give it to the chef. Everything is prepared. Then the same waiter takes your request and gives it to you on the table. There's a separate person who is responsible for cleaning your table, right? So you can see the moment there is a restaurant, because it's complex, there are so many layers. So manager in the front, waiter in the back, chef in the kitchen, and then there are so many people playing the role. Ideally, if you have a simple website, you don't need so many layers. But the moment you are creating a complex website, there are layers that play around. So the more the complex the application is, the more layers you would be learning, so that you can create efficient and a flexible application. So tomorrow you want to, so you must have seen WhatsApp. Come on, we all are on WhatsApp, or maybe Amazon, or any other website based on your country. They come with new features every now and then, right? They might be adding new products, they might be adding new facilities, they might be adding new features, and that's it. Make My Trip added initially for flight reservations and hotel reservations, and I mean, they're just growing and adding new features. For us, the interface remains the same. When you learn all the layers and you basically create an application following the conventions, best practices, and create a structured application, that application has an upper hand in terms of extending with new features. And that is what exactly we want, right? Top it up, a full stack developer, if, now this is something which I'm introducing you to. If you don't know, it's totally fine. If you're hearing it for the first time, it's okay. When you enroll for the course, you will be deep diving into everything. There's something called as DevOps, and there is something called as cloud computing. Okay. So as a developer, you created the application, but this application needs to be available to the customer. So it has to be available. So for example, Simplilearn.com, someone developed the website, and then when you go on to the browser, you type in Simplilearn.com, you're able to see the website, right? How it is available? Because they have basically made that application available and it's live for the customers to view it. That is where DevOps comes into picture and cloud computing. So if you have heard about AWS or if you have heard about Azure and GCP, yes, Frederick, oh my God, we have such intelligent people over here. I'm so liking it. Yes, DevOps includes Git, Docker, Kubernetes, and so on and so forth. Awesome, perfect. Yes, Sami, React is a library and not a framework. When you say framework, it comes in bundled with lots of features. When you say library, it is a lightweight coming in with limited features. If you want to add anything else, you will need to add more libraries to it. MongoDB is a database. Yes. Oh, there are many. You have Cassandra, Redis, MySQL, Oracle, Postgre, MongoDB, Elasticsearch, and I can go on with the list of databases that's available. Okay, so I am done from my side explaining the entire flow of the application. And over to you, Rasha. If any questions, feel free to ping in the chat.
Thank you so much, Shalini, for taking us through the Pro MERN Stack Developer career path and also explaining about, I think you've covered a lot of things already. Basically, what is a MERN Stack and, the components of a MERN Stack. And also, let's quickly also, like talk about the career opportunities in the MERN Stack field. So if you can shed some light there as well.
So basically, when you learn MERN Stack, you may join an organization uh, as a web developer. So you basically start with as a web developer. I mean, because you have just learned how to create a website, right? So you join in as a web developer where you will be responsible for creating the front end, back end, database, and build and maintain the website. So you can be a developer or you can be in the support team. You can join in as a software engineer where you can develop solutions and collaborate with other teams to be able to create a sustainable application. You can also work as a freelancer or a consultant where you can, when you work as a freelancer, sorry, or a consultant, you have to basically, look up for the requirements in the companies and you can offer specialized services based on your experience, or you can develop projects as well. You can be a lead, you can be a DevOps engineer if that is the area that you liked about it. So it all depends upon your liking. What do you feel like, which area you are comfortable, and definitely you can go into that area. So not necessary because you learn MERN Stack, you have to be a web developer or you have to be a technical lead. Along with MERN, if you learn the cloud computing or the DevOps, you can also choose to go as a DevOps engineer. So totally your choice.
Thank you so much, Shalini. And moving on to the talking about the full stack development industry growth and salaries. So we have seen a 35% annual growth for full stack development jobs from 2015 to till date. And also we have 12K plus job postings available in India. I'll show you the real-time openings as well as we are talking about the numbers. Also, we are open to your questions in the Q&A box now. Because I know a lot of you might have questions now, and you can put it into the Q&A box for Shalini there. And also talking about the full stack developer salary here, it starts with an average of 6 lakh INR that, and also it goes up to basically 20 lakhs INR here in the India region. Let me just quickly go to the next tab here and show you what are the real-time openings here. Yeah. So I know that a lot of you have joined from different parts of the world, but I'll try to show you, for as many regions as possible. So this is dice.com, and here you can find mostly like global US located jobs, mostly in US. And for full stack, I had searched, and we can see almost 3,000 plus jobs available here. And you can see the companies which are hiring for the roles. There are senior roles, and there are starting roles as well. You can see here the companies which are hiring, as there are a lot of openings here, and this is only limited to basically US. And also I'll show you for India region as well. Let me just open Naukri.com and search for full stack. So let's see how many jobs as of today they are available. So 26,000 plus jobs are available only in the Indian region here. And we can see it's ranging from an entry level to an experienced levels jobs here. You can see here and check out. So yeah, just to give an example of what we were talking about. So yeah, moving on to the next slide. So now that we have covered, an introduction to full stack developer MERN stack, and also taken you through the basically components of MERN stack, and also what are the career paths you can take up in MERN stack. We would also love to know that what exactly is stopping you from becoming a full stack MERN stack developer here. I'm just launching this poll here. And I see a lot of questions coming in on the chat. It would be really great if you move it to the Q&A box because we might miss it. We have a little high attendance and we wouldn't want to miss your basically questions there. So I'm just quickly launching this poll, and this one is a multiple choice poll, and you can basically select multiple options because there can be multiple concerns, right, and challenges you might be facing. So I'm just launching this poll quickly, and please feel free to respond and share your challenges or concerns here. The poll is launched, and folks who are watching us live on a YouTube channel, you can also respond by sharing your concerns or challenges from these options which you see on the live chat. Or you can also let us know even after this. If you have any questions apart from this, the Q&A box is open on Zoom for folks who have joined us on Zoom, and on YouTube, the live chat. So yeah, we'll be taking up questions from there. Great. But I see a lot of good questions, interesting questions coming in. We'll take it towards the end. Even after this, if you have any. Let's give 5 more seconds for the poll here. So I'll just read out these options for you as well. The first one here is I can't find a program with a fully comprehensive curriculum. Second one, I don't have the practical exposure I need to become job ready. And the third one, I find it difficult to learn from pre-recorded videos. And the fourth one, my work schedule won't allow me enough time for learning. Last 5 seconds for the poll here, folks, because I see most of you have responded. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let me quickly end the poll and also share the results with you folks. Let's see what have you responded as your concerns. I see 51% is for I don't have the practical exposure I need to become job ready. Wow, interesting. And that makes sense because a lot of you have also joined us, our entry level or, experienced professionals. And also 28% votes are for I can't find a program with a fully comprehensive curriculum, and 19% for I find it difficult to learn from pre-recorded videos, and 36% for my work schedule won't allow me enough time for learning. That makes sense because a lot of you, again, like who have joined us, are working professionals as well with a lot of experience. Thank you for sharing that with us. Now, quickly introducing you to the full stack MERN stack program here. And also, this program comes with a comprehensive curriculum and industry aligned learning path. We have integrated case studies for practical experience. We'll be talking more about that. What exactly are these projects and how exactly these projects help you? And also, this program duration is of 6 months. And in case you have commitments, if you're working professionally, you can just complete by giving 10 to 15 hours per week. And also, we have this in collaboration with IBM. And the format of the program is live virtual classrooms, which I'll show you in the learning environment about the program. I think a lot of questions and curiosity about if I'm eligible to take up this program. So let me just quickly answer that. So you need to have any technical degree or equivalent, and also you need to have basic programming knowledge, and you're not basically required to have prior professional experience, but if you do have it, even not in this field or this field, it totally acts as an advantage, right? So, yeah. And also moving on to how exactly this program prepares you. So how exactly this program builds the learner's FSD skills in MERN stack step by step. Shalini, if you can take us through. I'll just point out that we start with the induction for the full stack development MERN program, and then we move on towards building a strong foundation. So yeah.
Yes, and then you learn the front end where you learn the HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and you learn React. Moving on, because you have data from the front end, you will be sending data to the back end. So we need to be able to process the data. That is where you will be learning various data structures and the algorithms that work on the data and the various ways that you store data and process them. Once you do that, you will be learning backend with the Node and Express.js. And there will be a Capstone project. So Capstone project is very important because I can see many of you said you don't have practical exposure, or you're lacking in that, or practice, or a comprehensive course you haven't found anywhere. And believe me, when you actually do a capstone project, it will be tough. It won't be easy. I'm not saying anything is easy. You're going to cry. I did the same. But then believe me, at the end of it, you will love the output that you get it, even after all the efforts that you have put in. And you will actually be ready to answer any questions that you have by the interview. So capstone is very, very important. Over to you.
Definitely. We'll touch upon caption more, but talking about the elective here, we have from IBM with collaboration, right? So you get reactive architecture and reactive microservices as part of the electives, and they're optional. They come as a part of the program. It is up to you if you want to take them up. I'll show you this in the learning environment as well. And moving on to the next slide, talking about the in-demand tools, libraries, and platforms.
So yeah, we saw HTML, CSS, Express.js, Node, React, MongoDB. We learned DevOps where we have Docker, Git, AWS, Jenkins. So AWS comes under your cloud computing. So there will be all these technologies, all these frameworks, and all these tools which help you to basically create your applications, make it live, and all that stuff. So it is a combination of all the tools and frameworks and libraries and languages combined that you create an application and make it available for your end users.
I see one message on the chat that how can we join the basically program. I'll take you through the enrollment steps shortly for that. Yeah, moving on to the next slide, talking about the capstone projects. I think, Shalini, you have already spoken about it. But first of all, what exactly are capstone projects? And the next slide also has the list of capstone projects we have, covered in the program.
So we basically try to focus on giving you a real-time scenario. Of course, you will be mimicking a real-life business scenario for developing your capstone projects. So see, whenever you have a website, you always have a login, registration, a dashboard, a profile, a setting. So, I mean, there's so many things which are common across the websites that you develop. So there will be a real-time example, a real-time website, maybe, there may be a airline reservation system, or on the next slide, she will be sharing the various types of applications that you create using Capstone. But that Capstone project we make sure that whatever you have learned across the 6 months of your journey, you will definitely be using all the technologies in that capstone project. So it will be a revision, because after 2 months, 3 months, you seem to forget. So you become interview ready. So you basically you going to implement everything that you used. Secondly, because it simulates a real time, you will be able to actually visualize how a real time website is basically, or real time application is basically created, and using all the tools and libraries and frameworks. So on the fintech sector, the food delivery services, the entertainment sector. So there are various categories from which we basically pick the capstone projects for you to develop.
Yeah, thank you so much for shedding light on the capstone projects, a very important one, and also the companies that will be hiring, right? So I think I've already shown you the openings, the real-time numbers, as of today. But again, like LinkedIn, Amazon, Google, Book My Show, Oyo, being one of the top companies which are hiring worldwide. But then there are thousands of them, right? Like I've shown you examples. Now, moving on to the learning environment of the program. So I'm just going to quickly share my screen and show you the learning environment of the program. So what exactly happens once you take up the program? So what exactly the learning management system is provided by Simplilearn. So I'm just quickly going to take you through that. So yeah, this is the full stack developer MERN Stack program masters program, as you can see, and this is the learning management system of Simplilearn. And here you can see how you can unlock your progress here and unlock the certificate. You need to pass at least 2 course in projects from 2 different courses, or at least complete 65% to unlock the certificate. We have already taken you through the learning part of the program. As you can see, I have mentioned, I think one of the concerns you had, right? You're not okay with learning just from pre-recorded videos. So we actually have a blend of live and self-learning, and even practice labs as well. And also caption projects, right? Which actually give you the hands-on experience to showcase your, practical experience. And I'll just quickly browse through it and show you that there are live classes for every module we have. And I'll just quickly maybe open one of them, which has all 3 of them. And I'll show you what exactly it looks like. So this one is the self-learning. We start with the self-learning part. Where the self-learning videos are there, basically you can see this whole section here, which covers to basically cover your basics and understanding before you even join these live classes. And also, this is where you can access the live classes. Currently, it's not visible because there is an ongoing cohort and it is already full, and we are talking about an upcoming cohort. But I'll just quickly show you to give you an idea what exactly is happening here. So available classes will be visible to you, and this is a global program, so you can basically access it here, and the timings will be very flexible that way. In case you're working professional or you have other commitments. And once you opt for the classes, you can see our upcoming classes in the My Classes section. And in case you want to go to the old recordings, you can find it here in the Past Classes section. There are assessments also here available. You can clearly see that you need to basically cover one project in order to basically unlock this certificate. And also there are different materials like ebooks, practice, and lab guides. Quickly moving on to the practice labs. You can see the practice labs here. The practice labs basically help you with the real-time study of your key end concepts and understanding them, and you can easily go and launch them here and go and practice this particular module of the cohort. And also talking about the electives, as this is in collaboration with IBM, you get the reactive architecture and reactive microservices. This one is a self-learning thing, and you can unlock the IBM certificate through this. And also there is a help section available. In case you face any issues, this you can just drop us a message here, and within a few minutes you should receive a response. It can be anything about the certificate, exams, labs, projects, the classes, any issues you might be facing. So we'll help you with that. So yeah, that is just to quickly sum up the basically LMS here. Also moving on to the program page here. So I'll just quickly show you the program page. I'll just go and search for MERN, and yeah, I'll share the scan code in sometimes you can scan it and download the syllabus as well. So this is the program landing page. We have just covered the full stack developer MERN stack program. This is a master's program of 6 months of duration and an online boot camp. We can see there, we all the details here. In case you want to share your details, you can also go and submit here and also download the syllabus, after the webinar as well. So I'll share that link, and you can go and check it out for more details here as well. So yeah, moving back to the slide. Any questions about the program so far? We are open to your questions in the Q&A box. Also, just to sum up things, what exactly you'll be getting from this program? Simplilearn's full stack developer MERN stack master's program certificate you can see here on the screen. This is for the program MERN stack, and this is a master's program, and your name will be here, and it will be accredited by Simplilearn. You'll be getting 40 plus micro skillings exercises plus 6 plus work like professional projects, which we have discussed. Also, you get to develop expertise in 10 plus full stack development tools and frameworks. And you also get to build a robust kit portfolio to showcase your proficiency in building dynamic web applications. So yeah, this is just to sum up all the details. And we also have the program fee and the code. I'll share that in the enrollment steps. But before that, we would love to know your interest. Are you interested in enrolling into the full stack developer MERN stack master's program? You can share your responses yes on the poll which is launched right now. And yeah, and also folks who are wondering if you cannot pay all the fees in one go, you can actually pay in installments. We have different partnerships in regions where I'll share the program page, and you can check out the payment options as well in case you cannot pay it in one go. We do provide support for that as well, so you don't have to worry about that. Awesome. Let me give like 10-15 seconds for the enrollment poll here. And after this, we'll be moving on to the enrollment steps. And I'll share the scan code for you. You can scan the program page link and go and download the syllabus for your reference later. Even after the webinar, if you have any questions, I'll share an email ID on the chat. You can keep a note of it.
Yeah, so meanwhile, you guys are filling in this poll. I can see there was one question which was interesting, wherein someone asked that how do you remember the syntax of all the programming languages? So you don't remember. Believe me, I also don't. So I take 30 plus languages and still I'm not able to remember all of them. It's a practice that so I would say the only trick is code, 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 and code. Every line you have to type, do not copy paste. So Google is there for us. Yes, indeed, it is there, and it's a very useful tool. But don't be misled by Google. Even if you search anything on Google, please type in every line of code. The more you type, the more you get the errors. You should be happy when you get the errors, because that is the only way that you are going to learn. So believe me, when you get the errors, do not be sad, do not be depressed, because that is how you are learning. So you don't have to memorize the syntax, that comes in automatically with practice. Don't worry about the syntax, or don't go too much into the syntax, but I would suggest go into understanding the concept of anything that you are learning. Concepts are very important. Syntax you learn with practice. So that is something which I would suggest. And rest, I guess I've answered questions in the chat itself. And
There are a few questions
yeah.
about the recording as well. So we'll be sharing the recording after the webinar. You should receive it over mail. So in case you want to go through it again. And I think, Shalini, you have managed to, I think, answer a lot of questions during the webinar,
Yes.
and
Yes.
during the topic. So
I did, and I also answered in the chat as well. So hope to see you all in the sessions when we start actually. And do enroll quickly, and see you all. Rasha, I would like to leave. I'm really
Sure,
not
sure. Thank you so
feeling
much, Shalini. Thank you for being a great sport. Folks, Shalini was not feeling well. She still took that time and, came to the webinar to take you through this MERN Stack program and also the career path of MERN Stack, to help you out and also address your questions. So thank you so much. We really appreciate Shalini for, taking that time out. And also please get better soon, hopefully. And please take care. And
Thank
we'll
you
see you
so
another
much.
session. I'll share the link with them. They can also, follow you for updates as well. So thank you so much,
Thank you so much
Shalini.
for all the wishes. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, folks. Appreciate the response on the chat as well for Shalini. So last 5 seconds for the poll. We will also close it up soon. Folks who are waiting for the webinar certificate, I'll quickly, launch the poll after enrollment steps. Yeah. Hopefully all of your questions are answered early. In case you have questions even after the webinar, we can, basically address that as well. I'll share that email ID with you. So quick enrollment steps on the basically slide here. So 3 simple, easy steps you'll have to follow. A lot of you have shared interest towards enrollment, so this is for them. So what happens after this is you basically will have to submit an application to us at askus@simplilearn.net. And also, based on that, your application will be going for review based on the eligibility criteria which we have shared and prerequisites. And the step 3, the learning consultants from Simplilearn will contact you for the admissions offer. Now, talking about the upcoming cohort, which is the next cohort which is upcoming. So the next cohort is on 3rd August, and the program induction for this will be happening on 18th June. And also the fee for ROW candidates here is $1,449 including GST. And for Indian candidates is $53,999 including GST INR. If you want to check it out for your own region, I'll share that scan code after this basically slide. You can scan it and go and save that link and download the syllabus for later assistance. And also, even after the webinar, if you want to reach out to us, you can just drop us a mail on askus@sim.net. I'm sharing that email ID on the chat here. Please feel free. If you need further assistance, we are here to support you with your educational journey here. So please feel free to drop us a mail there. And we have already covered the Q&A. So this is the scan code for the program. So thank you so much. Thank you for being an amazing audience. Thank you for such many interesting questions here and for your interest towards enrollment. Folks, please stay for the webinar poll in case you want to basically get the webinar certificate. It will just take like a few seconds. We'll just quickly do it. And you can scan this code and it will take you to the program page. You can check it out later, and even how you have any questions later on, you can address them towards the learning consultants of Simplilearn when they reach out to you. They will help you out. They will give you a walk through the program as well and address any questions you might have before you even take it. So yeah, I hope you can just quickly scan the code, and I'll just give 5 seconds for this, and then we'll move on to the webinar certificate poll quickly. So 5 seconds for the scan. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you so much. And now, also, we would love to know how was the session for you. You can rate us by, giving us a rating out of 5, 5 being the highest. If you feel like you are satisfied with the content of the session and your question was addressed and also how was the speaker for you. So you can quickly go and rate us. This will just take like 10 seconds. And before we move on to the webinar poll, this really helps us as well. Also motivates us, if you like the session, and to bring more such sessions for you, helpful sessions for you. And I saw a question that, you want to attend more sessions like this. For that, I'm sharing a link which will help you get access to, early access to a lot of these sessions we do throughout the month. So I see on the chat that the speaker was brilliant. Oh, thank you so much. I'll make sure to pass on, the feedback to our speaker. Thank you so much. We really appreciate your positive comments. So last 5 seconds of the poll, how satisfied are you with the content of this session? Then we move on to the webinar certificate poll immediately. So we are running right on time, folks. So that is also great. Awesome. Last 5 seconds for the rating poll. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you so much. Thank you for responding to the rating poll and moving on to the webinar certificate poll. So now for receiving the certificate, which you see on the screen, I'll be launching a poll which will ask you for your full name. So I've launched the poll now. So this you will require to enter your full name here, and you can quickly go and submit. Please make sure there is no grammatical error. Basically the name is correct, because that is what will be feeding to the personalized certificate we'll be sending you. And also a lot of you have asked about the hashtag simply grow. What others are sharing. I'll share that quickly on the chat here as well. So in case you have insights about the session, in case you enjoyed it, you can also share the certificate, which you will receive within 24 to 48 hours, post webinar. And even after the webinar, in case you're not able to, if you're facing an issue regarding the webinar, you can drop us a mail as well. I'll share the email ID where you can drop us a mail. I've shared the hashtag simply grow, which folks are using for sharing the certificates or screen grabs about the session with their network. You can follow. I've shared the LinkedIn hashtag here, and you can go and follow it and see what the others are posting, and also connect with new people. Why not, right? So yeah, awesome. And I'm sharing the email ID with you, webinars@simplilearn.net. Folks, just one last request. After this webinar is done, I'll be closing the webinar. So there'll be a pop-up by Zoom which says post webinar survey for folks who have joined us on Zoom. You can quickly go and, there'll be one question where we want to know what can we do to make our webinars better. So we usually look up to the suggestions you give and, come up with such interesting topics. You can check out even in the, webinar, early access webinar we have shared with you of upcoming webinars, and you can go and register for them. But we do take consideration of what you guys want to see. So please do fill up if you have any suggestions on topics or what exactly you would like to see. Please do make sure to do that, and yeah, that'll be really helpful. Awesome. Last 5 seconds for the certificate poll. I see most of you responded. So last 5 seconds. Thank you so much. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. Thank you for being a great audience here. I'm sharing the email ID here. Drop us a mail in case you face any issues after the webinar. Recording will be sent to you. You should receive it within 24 to 48 hours. You can look out for a mail. This will be a separate mail. Webinar certificate will be a separate mail. Details about the program also will be sent to you. You can also check out that over mail. And yeah, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. Thank you for such amazing comments on the chat here. I see someone responding. Would love to know your name. Thank you, Rasha, for being an amazing host. Enjoy the rest of your day and night. Always brings a smile when you host. Oh, awesome. Thank you so much. We have another session coming up, which is next. In case you want to join it, you can join that as well. That is about we have Caltech Cloud Computing program. So if you're interested in cloud computing, you can check out that webinar as well. So that starts in half an hour. So I'll just do one thing. I'll just share that link with you in case you want to attend the webinar. Yeah, I'll just quickly share. So we'll be talking about cloud computing. In case you are curious, we have a really good speaker, Tejesh, who will be taking up the program. And I hope this link works. I've shared the link. You can go and register for it and join us there as well. Thank you so much. Thank you for being an amazing audience, folks. Thank you so much for the appreciation on the comments. So yeah, I think we'll be ending the session now, and I have to move on to another session. Thank you so much. Thank you. Looking forward to see folks who have shared interest towards enrollment in other cohorts. And other folks, if you're still exploring, join the other basically program if you want to check out cloud computing. So thank you so much. Thank you.